proving to yourself that you can do it, and that you gain that level of confidence when you can accomplish the goal that you set for yourself, even if it's small. And then just those little baby steps and milestones, each time you do that sort of thing, you kind of build yourself up. And I feel like I'm a completely different person than I was when I first did that, really.
Kill Complacency, a podcast that inspires growth and intentionality and helps you overcome your greatest obstacles.
So my guest today is Steve Blake, and he is a really cool guy. You guys are going to hear more about him in a minute. But what I can tell you about him is he loves Jesus. He's a husband, father, and triathlon, and in the real estate. So kind of everything that I'm about. So Stephen, could you kind of tell us your upbringing, maybe your background? How did you get into endurance sports?
All right. Hi, guys. I'm Steve Blake. Background, a little bit about me. So I'm originally from northern New Jersey, actually. Grew up there till I was 18 years old, in the suburbs of New York City, kind of like 30, 45 minutes outside of New York City. Graduated high school and went to a small aeronautical university in Daytona Beach, Florida called Embry-Riddle. Studied to be an aircraft mechanic there, and met my wife there at the same time too. We both graduated in 2014. I had my certificates as an aircraft mechanic and got my bachelor's degree. She was studying to be a pilot, and she's currently a pilot. We moved to Wichita for about a year when I was working for Cessna, and then she was trying to find work in Wichita, couldn't find a job there. So we did long distance for a few months. She came back to OKC and was working as a flight instructor in OKC. And then I found a job here in OKC a number of months later, so spring of 2015. We moved to her hometown because she's originally from Oklahoma City. And we've been here ever since. Kind of keeping long story short, I worked as an aircraft mechanic for 8 years, and then moved into the real estate world after that. And here I am. I've been here ever since. So
when did you get into endurance sports?
Oh, it kind of started in 2014, very, very small. Like I did like a 5K once, and kind of just was dabbling with it. I really didn't get full into it until 2015. And it kind of started out as like a New Year's resolution. I wanted to run a 10K because like to me a 10K felt like the longest distance like I could possibly do. And in January I'm like, I'm gonna run a 10K, the Redbud, in April, and I'm gonna train for it, and I'm gonna run it. And like, because my parents had done a few like 5Ks and 10Ks over the years type of thing. And like, my mom told me like, if you can run a 10K like in like 50 minutes or whatever, like that's pretty fast. I'm like, okay. So I kind of just like made a promise to myself and kept it and trained for it, and then did it. And that kind of was like the light switching on, so to speak. And I'm like, man, like I told myself I could do it. I trained for it, and then I proved it to myself, so to speak. And that was where the light switch turned on. And after that, I started looking into like, YouTube videos on like how to run faster. And after that too, I was like, well, what else can I do? And so I looked into doing a half marathon, and then it was in October of 2015. I did my first half marathon, and then it was off to the races from there, just doing half marathons. I took, a short period of time where I was doing strength training and just kind of exploring that route. So it was just kind of like a self-exploration of fitness and kind of chasing different goals for a while. So yeah, that's kind of how I got started with it.
Steve, how powerful was it to accomplish that goal by setting it but then just following the steps? Like,
it was life-changing.
Yeah.
It's life-changing when you come to that realization, because like it's almost to that point, like I was a different version of myself before that, where I kind of was, and I still have some of those like self-conscious issues and like feeling lack of confidence in things type of thing, to proving to yourself that you can do it and that you gain that level of confidence when you can accomplish the goal that you set for yourself, even if it's small, and then just those little kind of baby steps and milestones, you know, each time you do that sort of thing, you kind of build yourself up. And I feel like I'm a completely different person than I was when I first did that, really.
I feel like exercise specifically is one of the biggest things to see that in. My story is I did a 5K. That was the biggest I ran.
Right.
And then I knew I was 40 and I was getting out of shape. And my brother, I said, I think I'm going to do a half. And he said, anyone can do a half. You should do a whole. So that was my jump.
Yeah, right. Yeah, from a 5K to a full. But you proved it to yourself.
But it was easy.
Yeah.
Because you just printed a plan. And you just followed it. And every week you ran 1 or 2 more miles. And in a span of 20 weeks, you're in no man's land. You know, you're doing something you've never thought possible.
That's right. Yeah. So I just think when you find the power to understand that, like, you are more powerful than you even think you are.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't realize you were a mechanic.
Yeah.
And your wife's a pilot.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a mechanic for 8 years. So yeah. And there was a short period of time there where she was a flight instructor and the airplanes she was flying, I was fixing. Okay. So the ongoing joke was Mary breaks them, Steve fixes them type of thing. So that was kind of an interesting little chapter in life where, you know, I was working on the airplanes that she was flying. So it was pretty neat.
And you said she still flies.
Yep. So she's still a pilot here in Oklahoma City, and yeah, she has a really cool job. Yeah.
Is she like commercial pilot?
Private pilot. So she flies for a company here in Oklahoma City.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I worked for a private flight department here for a number of years too. So
that's cool. My one of my daughters wanted to be looked into. Well, she wanted to be initially. She wanted to be an astronaut, and then that got toned down to a missionary pilot.
Oh, there you go. That's great.
And so she was doing lessons in Guthrie.
Okay.
She's just 17. And you know how it is at that age. You're just So she did lessons for a bit and then decided,
It's not easy. And I mean, you know, not to go far down that road, but, you know, my wife, you know, she went through it too. I mean, she soloed when she was 16.
Okay.
But it took a while for her to get all of her certifications, but she had to push through. And now, I mean, you know, but she loves to fly. That's the thing. It's like that was her passion and still is her passion to fly.
Over the years, I have been coached by countless mentors, and now I want to offer that to you as well. How? By Marty Hofmann's Life Coaching. This will be a 6-week program in which I will guarantee you will develop a more growth mindset. We will set goals and learn about the importance of the processes and habits behind those goals. I will also help you see your story differently as things happening for you, not to you. We will also be discussing your future self and give you clarity on who that is and what it looks like. For more information, please follow the link below or hop on martyhoffman.com and follow the coaching link. Tirza was learning how to fly at the same time she was learning to drive.
Oh my gosh.
And you know, there's the complication, but there's also, once you're in the air, Tirza's like, it's so much easier. There's no traffic.
Yeah, it's a different game for sure, but it's super cool. I even was lucky enough when I was early on in my mechanic career, I got to learn how to be a private pilot. So I have just enough knowledge to kind of know, but like,
you know,
not
that
really
be dangerous.
Right.
Something happened to the pilot. You can take over and go on autopilot.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay. Well, I know, you just recently got third at the Route 66 triathlon. Talk to me about that. What were the highs? What were the lows? What were the buffaloes? If you could do it over, and I looked at the times.
Yeah.
Like the difference between second and third.
It was close. It was close.
Could you see the guy?
Oh yeah, I could see him, but I was out of gas, man, at the end.
Did he pass you, or did you pass him?
He passed me.
Okay.
He passed me.
So you left it on the line.
Yeah,
I
did.
Gave it everything.
I gave it my
awesome.
all. I gave it my best. Yeah. So I mean, from the start of the race, I will say this. So I'm on the board of the club, and so I was helping. I helped direct the races and all that, and we did a really we tried really hard to have the courses marked out well, which is great because last year we had a lot of feedback saying the course wasn't marked well and that sort of thing. But there were some delays on, I don't like calling people out type of thing, but there's some confusion and delays about how the swim course was set up, and that caused everything to get kind of set back a little bit. So we worked through all that, but the start of the race was a little bit chaotic because it was the race director hit the horn and everybody's like, "Are we going?"
Oh.
And he's like, no, 10 more seconds. And then 3 seconds later, he blows the horn to go. So it was a little bit kind of a chaotic start.
Sure.
Luckily, I was kind of ready to just go at that point. But once we got the race started, everything was very smooth. It was just kind of getting started was a little bit out of whack. But the race start was good. Funny enough, I found myself near the front of the swim, which is not usually the position that I find myself in, but I worked a lot and worked really hard this winter to get better at swimming. I've been swimming with one of my friends. His name is David Hernandez, and he swims at Mitch Park a lot. A lot of people know him there, but he grew up swimming and is a known fast swimmer. So, you probably know this by running with people. What do you do to get faster? You run with people who are faster than you.
Yes.
So, I was pretty average when it came to swimming, and I didn't grow up swimming. So, I've been swimming with David, since January, trying to get faster. Mm-hmm. Just, hey, the more sessions you can do with somebody that's a little bit faster, they'll teach you just little techniques, and push you to go a little bit faster. And that's what exactly what happened. And so I was in the top 3 coming out of the water, and actually I came out of the water second. And we were all kind of together. I don't know how much of triathlon you've watched, but if, for listeners, when you're swimming in triathlon, a lot of guys will swim close together because you get a draft effect from each other by swimming in each other's wake. So I was, in third place for the first lap, and for this swim course, we did what was called an Australian exit, which you actually get out of the water, you stand up, and you run along the beach for we ran 50 yards or something like that, and then you get back in. So you kind of see your position within the group, and you can kind of see how far people are behind you and that sort of thing. So I was in third place coming out on the first lap, and I was right behind second place, I was drafting off of him. And then we went back in the water together pretty much, and then I actually got ahead of him, and then he was drafting off of me. And this is where after the race I was talking to this guy, I'm like, did you let me take the lead on the second lap to conserve energy? Because that's the mindset some people get into is hey, can I conserve energy? Yeah. He's going to lead, for this portion of the race so that I don't have to sight as hard because, when you're swimming in open water, you have to look for buoys. Yeah. And it's not like swimming in the pool.
Well, and if nothing else, even if he wasn't,
right,
he has it in the bank for later.
Right.
To think, I've got a little more in me than he does.
That's right.
Because I drafted.
And I know, and I've raced against this guy too a number of times, and he's fast, and I knew that. So I kind of was keeping that in the back of my head, and this is one thing that when you're racing too, it's understanding your own abilities and being hey, I'm racing this guy, but also I know that he's probably faster than me on the bike type of thing, and then staying within myself. Because I came into this race it being I don't really have a specific time. I don't really, I would like to finish in a certain place, but if I don't, it's not the end of the world type of thing. I just want to execute the best that I can. And I've taken that into the last 2 races, and I think it's really powerful as far as I operate better when I just tell myself, hey, do the absolute best that you can. If you don't hit this specific time goal or specific place, like that's going to be okay, type of thing.
Do you normally not have goals for races?
No, I mean, there's some, like there was one I did in November, a half iron distance race that I wanted to do in sub 5, and I did it in 5:01. So I think
I always have these like extreme goals.
Right.
And then I always have goal A, goal B, and then my goal C is always to finish.
Right. Yeah.
But my goal A is like.
I think I feel like for
if everything's perfect and I'm somehow like.
I think my goal C is always to be like, I just want to be safe. Like I don't wreck the bike, like come home safe type of thing. Like that's always like that's the number one priority in a way. It's like, hey, if I'm safe, if I'm not hurt, like that's great, because I have wrecked during races before.
So you do the swim, and it's just under a mile. It's 1.5 kilo.
I think we ended up doing, it was like 1,750 yards was what Strava said. So we did 1,750 yards, get out of the water. We ran uphill through the sand and all that. We did transition 1, which I took a little bit of extra time there, and that's where the guy that came out in third, he got out of transition before me. And so I was already kind of in chase mode there, but got onto the bike second and just started, riding and kind of getting in the zone as far as just like, all right, here I am, let's start pushing the power and doing what I know to do.
If you want to wear a billboard of a message of kill complacency or live intentionally, then check out my merch store. It's www.mindsetshop.com. Mindset is with an X, so it's MINDXET shop, SHOP.com. Mindsetshop.com.
What's your best part? Is it the swim, the bike, or the run? Where are you strongest?
It's hard for me to say.
What do you like the most?
I like the bike the most.
Okay.
I like the bike the most, but I think comparing apples to apples, for me, I think I'm actually a stronger swimmer than most people.
Okay.
But I don't enjoy it as much. I think I'm closer to average on the bike. I think that's one area I could improve in a lot. And then my run, I feel like I'm a bigger guy, so it takes a lot for me to run faster. And I just recognize that, like even just running with friends type of thing, like I tend to get out of wind or I'm at a higher heart rate than somebody who's, 6 foot or shorter type of thing. I think it seems to be more laborious, but I have of all 3 disciplines, running is the one I have most experience in.
Okay.
So, I think it depends on the course in the day for me as far as like which one I would say I do better in or I prefer. But if I had to pick between the 3, I think bike is my favorite of the 3. And so we got out on the bike, and I don't know if you have been out in that area of Edmond or not, but it's super hilly. It's a lot of climbing, a lot of hills. And last year I didn't ride the course that much, and it kicked my butt. This year with the club too, we planned on doing like a lot of the we do like a Saturday group ride. We did a lot of Saturday group rides ahead of time on the course. And that being, not only are we was everybody getting familiarized with the course, but then you're training on the course. And, it's interesting how you hear you hear anecdotes from people, even for running, like, hey, run on hills, ride on hills, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, all right. And then like you go and do whatever you want to do anyway. But like, I seriously think that I got a lot more fit from riding on the hills so much, because it's just that much harder.
Well, nothing else. Again, you have it in the bank.
Yeah.
So that you feel like the other guys from Kansas, you're like,
right,
I'm better than him,
right?
Because I've been there before.
Yeah, I familiarized on the course, all of it. So, yeah, came off the bike in second. Was really pushing hard, felt really good. I think I averaged about 21 miles an hour on the bike. So,
are you surprised at this point that you're in second?
A little bit, yeah. Truthfully,
or are you like?
Yeah, no, I'm not, I'm not that guy. You know what I mean? I think that goes back to I still have the lingering like self-confidence issues a little bit. Like I don't expect to be the number one guy type of thing. I kind of am reserved in that way. I think that's just part of my personality. Is like even like after races and people are like, "Oh man, you're so good." Da, da, da. I'm like, I'm kind of the person that's like, like I could have done this better, or I could have done that better. Like I'm not that great type of thing. Like I'm not.
You should read a book called The Great Leap.
Okay.
It has a fishbowl on it and a goldfish.
Okay.
Can't remember the author, but he talks a lot about deflecting, which is exactly what you're doing.
I know. I do it a lot.
And he talks about when we deflect, like even like golfers, right? A guy golfs and someone's like, "Hey, great shot." What does he say? "Oh, everyone gets lucky every once in a while."
Yeah, right.
He's deflecting, right?
Yeah.
What he talks about in the book is when we do that, it actually prevents us from getting to the next level because we're not absorbing the compliment.
Yeah.
So I would recommend that book, but also just lean in. All you have to say, Steve, is thanks.
Yeah.
And I read the book last year, and I taught to my family, and we all catch each other doing it.
Yeah, right.
Or the other thing we'll do is we won't acknowledge it, and we'll compliment them with the same thing.
Right.
And it's the same thing. We're not.
Yeah.
All we have to say is say thank you, and it's good.
Yeah, but to your point, I feel like I'm not the guy. I have a little bit of imposter syndrome almost.
I think we all do, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we all do. In reading that book,
yeah, right.
Like we all do it all the time. If you read the book and think about it, you'll notice. You compliment your wife. "Hey, thanks for cleaning the house. It looks great."
Yeah, right.
Well, the kids were good today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or, well, we ordered, whatever. The food there wasn't, whatever. But we all do it all the time.
Yeah.
But it does help. I know it helps.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Anyway, so, I'm in second, get off the bike, and I'm on the run. And I'm just, at this point, I don't see first place. And he's kind of gotten away. Because on the bike, that's usually where things start to get strung out the most. Just because of speed differentials and that sort of thing, you kind of get strung out a little bit, and that's where it's hard to really make up time. So go out onto the run. Initially, my legs did not feel great, but that's usually expected because, like, for triathletes, if you do brick workouts, you're kind of used to that at that point. But the heat started coming up a little bit, and the run course is also hilly. So it throws an extra, difficult challenge in the whole situation. So
and the bike was, I can't remember, was it like
26?
26 miles.
It was 26. Is what it ended up being. I think it's supposed to be like 24-ish, but it was a little long in certain areas, which. I'm okay with it going a little bit longer. Honestly, it didn't bother me too much.
And then the run is a 10K, which is 6.2.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So, and it was an out and back. So, in a way, I kind of like the out and back courses. I don't know. With you do the ultra runs, so you're doing laps, so you kind of see people, right? So with the out and back, you can kind of see where you're at. As far as where everybody is, type of thing.
1,000, 2,000.
Right. Yeah, you're looking at your watch like, hey, they passed at this time.
You went by
like,
this telephone pole. Okay, when I come back by here.
Yep. So you kind of figure out your splits. So I went out on the run and I did my first out and back, and I saw where the eventual third place was. I think he was in 5th or 6th at that point, but I saw him coming.
He's a strong runner.
And he's a strong runner, and I knew that. So I'm like, I don't know if
as a runner, it's so much fun to do that. To
reel
people in like that.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like it's easier to be the chaser than the chased.
Yeah, it's harder in life. It's harder to hold on to success.
Yeah.
Than to win.
Right.
Than to climb the ladder.
But I think but going into this race, I think I had a good mindset and healthy mindset where it's like I didn't start getting down on myself in that situation because I'm like, mean, shoot, worst case scenario, I finished third.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's still freaking awesome. So I was kind of keeping that in the back of my head and not trying to think too hard about, I honestly wasn't even really thinking about the fact that I was in second. I was thinking about, like, I'm in the top 3. You know what I mean? It's like, holy crap, I'm in the top 3 type of thing versus being like, oh, I'm in second, I need to hold on to this type of thing. So just kind of playing the mental mind games of like keeping myself in the game type of thing. Because if I'm worried about like holding on to second, then, well, if I'm too worried about that, then I might end up pushing myself too hard and blowing up.
Yeah.
So that was where I was just, I was just doing my thing, like, you know, keep on pushing. And
talk to me about nutrition. What are you doing?
So
there's nothing in the water. You get out, do you get something before you hit the bike?
Well, so the way that I think about nutrition too is I start the day before.
Sure.
Truthfully.
Yeah,
you know,
you bank it.
Yeah, you know, just like even the dinner the night before I think is critical, because like if you had anything like too spicy or anything like that, that causes problems in the morning. So I always kind of have like a basic dinner the night before, like chicken and rice or beef and rice type of thing, just keeping it basic. And then the morning of, I always have the same thing. It's not really like the absolute healthiest thing, but it's worked for me. Is like we have these like, I don't know if you've seen them. They're these Beltiva crackers.
Okay.
And my friends make fun of me for having these things, but like my kids like them, and I use them for I eat them as snacks. So I have 2 packages of those, and it's pretty like, I have it diligently set up where it's like 2 packages of those. And then I have a bottle of electrolytes and carbohydrate mixed drink, and it's a cluster dextrin based carbohydrate source.
That's on your bike, or is that you had that? Before the
that's
race?
all before the race.
Okay.
Like, you know, because I had to get there early to help set up the race and all that, so I was fueling like on the way to the race site and all that, and then 30 minutes before the race, I'll take a gel.
Okay.
So. Take a gel, and that's kind of your swim fuel is how I see that, because you can take a gel during the swim. So 30 minutes before the swim, I'll take a gel. Then, you know, you do your swim, and then on the bike, I try to shoot for 1 gel and then 1 bottle of electrolytes. So like 500 milligrams of sodium, you know, electrolyte mix, and carbohydrates, and 1 gel. And, you know, for as long as the race is. So whether it's a half distance or an Olympic or whatever, that's what I try to shoot for. So like on the bike portion for this race, it was a little over an hour. So I had 1 gel and 1 water bottle of carbohydrates and electrolytes. And then on the run, depending, like for a half distance, I'll take a handheld bottle because it's just such a long run that I kind of need it. For an Olympic distance, you can kind of get away without taking a water bottle just because there's water stations if you want it type of thing. And I'll usually have 1 gel on those runs just so I'm not messing with too much type of thing. Because like you could get really carried away with having a bunch of gels and a bunch of water and that sort of thing. But at that point, it's like, what's the time worth? Is it worth grabbing all this extra stuff?
No,
or is it worth, right?
And your time was 2:24, so.
Right. Yeah.
You're not going to die.
Right, exactly.
Stay
So just
hydrated.
kind of, and I think that's where being prepared for the race really matters. Training and having your kind of being fueled almost before the race starts so that you can kind of tap into those reserves at the end of the race type of thing.
On ultra running, a lot of times we'll actually fuel 2 days before.
Oh, really? Wow.
And the idea is you want to be ready to go a day before.
Yeah,
Just really to have it in the bank.
Sure.
You're going to burn all the calories. So
just having your body
we'll
topped
carb
up.
load and whatnot. Yeah, 48 hours before.
That makes sense.
And then the day before.
Well, and I mean, if you're doing some races where you're running for almost 2 days, that kind of makes sense in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, during the run, just kind of found my zone where it's just like the uncomfortable, comfortable position of like running as hard as you
Making
can.
the uncomfortable comfortable.
Right, exactly. Just trying to, you know, step on the gas enough to feel like you're uncomfortable, but like not going to completely blow up, because it's not a short enough race where you can just like go, all out and just hope for the best type of thing. You kind of have to keep a little bit left. So that first lap, was holding on to second, and things were feeling good. And honestly, it was interesting to watch. So like I had a bunch of buddies that I've trained with for this race, and when I was coming back, they're going out, and they're all strung together, like 10 seconds apart, like 4 or 5 of them. And I'm like, this is freaking awesome. Like, this is what triathlon's about, you know what I mean? And like, that made me excited for them as far as like, they're racing each other too. So like, I don't know, that's the athlete and the competitor in me that like really loves that part of it. So, made my way all the way back to the turnaround, came back, and that guy that was like in 4th or 5th, he was already getting close to me. He was on the hunt. I think he ended up being, at that point, he was probably 30 or 40 seconds behind me. And I'm like, oh, he's coming for me. He's coming for me. And like, I felt like I knew it was almost inevitable, but I'm like, just lock in, just do your thing. Yeah. Stay in your zone. Like, don't worry about him. Like, if he gets you type of thing. But like, I was pushing pretty hard at that point, and made it to the last turnaround. And after the last turnaround, that's when he got past me. I was like, man, dang it! But I kind of knew that he was gonna get me.
I just wanted to thank you guys for listening to the end. In closing, I just wanted to add that if this message resonates with you, if it aligns with your values, and something in it today triggered something, then you can also look me up on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. We are really trying to help people live more intentional lives, to kill the complacency with which they have subscribed to. I know there's many ways in which I get sucked in all the time. So if this is beneficial, follow me there.